Here is an old book, The Secret Garden by Frances Burnett, that was dated in 1910. Now, it is a children's literature book, and it is fiction, which makes it more interesting. This book is about a little girl named Mary Lennox, who is sickly and uninvolved, and she's a 10-year-old who was born in India to wealthy British parents, but they seem to never make an effort for her. Now here's the book's cover, and you can already tell that it's very interesting and you are intrigued by what she is doing or what she wants to do. And what happens is there is an epidemic that kills her parents and her servants. She is discovered alive but alone in an empty house. So she ends up living in an English house and with a family in India before she is sent to Yorkshire in England. Now, this is where she has a wealthy uncle who then isolates her in this house all by herself. And she doesn't like the home, she doesn't like living in it, but she does find something very intriguing in the garden. Now, the door seems to be locked up and the key is buried and she can't seem to get in. But she's interested in finding the secret garden herself and begins to investigate what she sees. It is an ancient garden that she ends up exploring and ends up getting in trouble by mischieving and going off by herself. But her health and her attitude needs to improve before her uncle will let her go out. And so she grows stronger and she goes to explore more and more and she becoming this nice person. And she's helping out in the garden and she wants to do everything she can in order to get the key to this house or to this door that she wants to go into the garden for, unknowingly what's inside. But then she hears cries and she is confused on where they're coming from, and all she wants is to find out how to get in past this door. But there's a problem, because she's walking past her bedtime and she visits it daily, which her uncle finds suspicious. And from his troubles with stories and animals in the secret garden, she just finally confides that she needs to access this garden. And she ends up finding a friend that is interested in it with her. His name is Colin. Now, Colin he's in a wheelchair and he can't really roam around like she can, but is brought outside to see the secret garden. And it's his first time outdoors in such a long time that he wants to be able to explore it too with her. And as she finally goes through it, the children both look over and see what's on the other side. But the uncle is angry to find the children in the secret garden, and he ends up admitting that Colin is not a cripple, and he ends up standing up in his chair with his legs fine, through just from being weak, and he didn't want to show that he could move again. But Colin and Mary end up spending most of their time in the gardens, around the uncle's company, and the children keep recovering the health with the secret from the staff. So every day in the garden, sometimes with the company, she would get surprise visits from he would get surprise visits from his father who traveled abroad. And as his health ends up improving and increases his mobility, his dream where his late wife calls upon him is inside the garden. But that's where I want to end it, because you got to find out what happens next, and you got to keep reading on to see what they end up finding in the secret garden.